Welcome back. Washington state voters will be asked in November to lower school class sizes following a pathway forged by Florida voters back in 2002. The push comes in the midst of education funding chaos in Washington state, which currently has the fourth largest average class sizes in the country. Deseret News reporter Eric Schultzke has been following this issue closely. What's your take on this situation? Everyone wants smaller class sizes, yet no one seems to have them.
Well, people don't necessarily want to pay for them. Washington, if the voters decide to go for this, are going to have to decide how to pay for it, and they don't want more taxes. And one of the things that that came out in my review of this is that people always say everyone wants lower class sizes, and the poll data seems to support that. But there also has been some very interesting recent poll experiments where they say, well, do you want lower class sizes? People say yes, but then other people are asked, if we have trade-offs, would you be willing to pay this much against reducing a class size this much? So instead of saying class size in the abstract, you say 25 to 22 at such and such a price compared to such and such an option, you know, such as paying teachers more. And then people say, well, maybe we should pay teachers more.
From the public perspective, I can't remember if I had a big class size or not. And I grew up in Utah, and we have huge class sizes here. I don't know if that affected me or not. But where is the general public on this issue?
Well, like I said, it depends on how you ask the question. Yeah. And this is often cited by proponents of lowering class size, that the poll data is on their side, but when the context is given, then the answer often changes. So,
what do educators think?
Teachers generally favor smaller class sizes, but again, that's in the abstract. Teachers also change their position when they're given context, when they say, like, if you're given a salary increase of such and such a percent versus a class size reduction of such and such a percent, they usually go with a salary increase. So giving the context, again, changes the position for teachers. Now, education elites, the experts in the field, there you find some division of opinion, but you also find a very strong consensus in the research that says that you have to reduce class size a significant amount in order to get any leverage in outcomes, and the cost of reducing class size to that degree is almost prohibitive.
Do you see this Washington state experiment, like with Florida, if it floats there and they pass a law that makes class sizes a certain, is that going to move around the country?
Well, it depends on, I guess it depends on the experience in Washington. If Washington does it, people will watch closely to see what happens, but the real question is going to be, what's it going to cost them, and what are the trade-offs going to be? Are they going to be cutting out other areas of education spending as a consequence?
Well, you figure it's got to get fixed, but no one wants to pay money to get it fixed. I want you to take care of it, just don't ask me to pay you more. I don't know if that's a realistic solution, is it?
Well, in everything there's trade-offs. And that's really the essence of this debate is whether the voters are going to be aware of and be willing to make the trade-offs to pay for what they want or to get something else instead.
All right, we'll keep an eye on Washington State. Eric, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You can read more from Eric Schultzke on this topic and other education issues in the Deseret News National Edition. The Common Core Standards, a series of educational standards aimed at helping students prepare for higher education and entry into the workforce, were adopted by more than 40 states in 2010. Since their adoption, the Common Core Standards have become subject to debate in many circles, from parents to teachers to lawmakers. Some states have pushed back against the standards, while others have pushed forward with their implementation. You can go online at national.deseretnews.com to see where the Common Core Standards stand in each of the 50 states and the District of Columbia. Next, intellectually disabled students are gaining new access to higher education. Deanie Wimmer shows us a program that offers the same promise that a college education does to any other young adult.
Sarah and Taylor make their way across campus like a few thousand other USU students.
What would be some things that you could do to change your paradigms?
They learn the rigors of college.
You have 2 minutes.
Meet new friends and prepare to become adults.
Why are you here? Okay.
About how to live on our own.
Very good.
But unlike every other student, they are among the first class of Aggies Elevated, a program for intellectually disabled students, students with brain disorders, autism, and Down syndrome. But right now, that's not their focus.
You have to stand up what you believe in.
Very
like
good.
yourself.
Nice,
that
Taylor.
I learned in my that I learned at home. That when I was home by myself, I look at myself and like, I know I have Down syndrome, but that's not who I am.
Good.
They aspire to the same things as every other incoming freshman.
And I learn different skills that I probably will come in handy like later in my life when I look back and say, wow, that was so cool.
And I think we'll find students more able to find employment, more able to live a quality of life that they haven't been able to achieve before because they haven't had opportunities, not because they haven't had the ability or the desire for it, but because they haven't had those opportunities.
Opportunity is the theme for Utah State's vision. Access to higher education has become available over the decades for women, African Americans, those with physical disabilities, and now this last remaining barrier.
It's a dream come true in many ways.
Because for the parents of Taylor and Sarah, they've dreamed the same thing for their daughters as they did for their other children.
Well, raising a child with disabilities, you wonder if they're ever going to get a job, if they're ever going to be able to be married, if they're going to be able to become independent.
Sarah is a special person. And the chance to see her, have what I've had and what other kids have, means everything to me.
These Utah parents teamed with the university to find existing programs they modeled after one at UCLA. Then they helped provide funding and a jump start. The program had to begin this year, not just for their daughters, but for those also waiting for opportunity.
This is a great step for her and for all those students.
It will change the life of our daughter. It will change the lives of the people she associates with. It will cause a paradigm shift.
Sarah, what are some other things that we can do to change our paradigms?
For all the talk of paradigm shifts, forgive these students if they have a more freshman approach to this milestone.
We got this going and it's pretty cool.
Sure love you guys. You have no idea how much.
Deanie Wimmer reporting. Aggies Elevated is a 2-year certificate program. Another aspect the university feels strongly about is that when these students finish, they'll attend graduation with everybody else. Still to come, how young people can improve their financial status. And mega church pastor and movie producer T.D. Jakes on why he thinks Hollywood needs to put more trust in God.